What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another entertainment video. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new, appreciate you for checking out the channel. If you've been here before, thanks for stopping by again. Thanks for showing some love. Regardless, make sure you guys like, comment, hit subscribe button. You know what we're doing today, y'all. We got to talk Chicago Bears. We got to talk Chicago Bulls. We got to talk Chicago sports, even if it's not worth it, even if they're not winning. But let's just get right into it. And you know we got to start with our Chicago Bears. So yet again, the Bears lose in dramatic fashion. In overtime, they lose 30-27 to the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings were up 27-16 with 1:56 left in the game. DeAndre Carter had a 55-yard kickoff return that led to an 8-play drive where Caleb Williams threw a touchdown pass to Keenan Allen. We did have the successful 2-point conversion. That cut the lead to 27-24 with 22 seconds left. And somehow the Bears managed to recover the onside kick. Caleb Magic got us into field goal range, and Cairo Santos finally made a 48-yard field goal. Bears did win the coin toss in OT, but we were unable to score. Vikings got the ball back. They won on a field goal, and it was just another heartbreaking week, adding to the different ways the Bears can find ways to lose a game. One of them's coming back at the end, recovering an onside kick, and then losing in overtime. So, Hail Mary. This game, last week's game, we're just like in shambles right now. Green Bay blocks the punt, Hail Mary, or blocks the kick, Hail Mary by the Redskins or by the Commanders, whatever they're called. And then on Sunday, we lose in overtime. And Caleb Williams, though, man, Caleb Williams came out absolute balling. 32 of 47, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, 103.1 passer rating. So I think it's finally safe to say, y'all, Caleb Williams is our quarterback of the future. Caleb Williams is probably already the best quarterback in Bears history. And Caleb Williams is who we need to put all of our focus on, making him as great as possible. He had hella highlights on Sunday. Nice pass to DeAndre Swift. Couple of nice passes to Keenan Allen. Clutch pass to DJ Moore. A little bit of everything just showcasing why he was the number 1 pick, why everybody was so high on him. And I know a lot of people were big on Jaden Daniels to start the year. I know he might be having a rib injury, but since the last couple of weeks, I mean, pretty much Caleb Williams, I think, has solidified himself as the best rookie quarterback, even though Bo Nix technically has a better record, but they're not doing as much or asking him to do as much as Caleb is. But let's take a quick look at the stats here. There we go. So you see 30-27. Bears did have a huge fourth quarter. We outscored the Vikings 17-3, obviously, thanks to that onside kick. And if you didn't see it, it actually hit off of Minnesota player, which is why the Bears were able to recover it. And for the first time in my life, I was like, yo, we can actually get down and hit a field goal. You know, when you watch the Bills, you watch the Chiefs, you're like, yo, Mahomes, Allen, they're going to get them down there. They're probably going to tie it up. It feels like we finally have something like that on our side with Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams actually led the team in rushing yards as well, 33 yards. So not much getting done running the ball, but obviously we were down after the third quarter, so we're just going to kind of start throwing the ball, but nobody could really get going. Receiving, complete other story. It looks like you could see here. There we go. Move my little box over. There we go. I mean, you could see right here on the right-hand side, DJ Moore, 7 receptions, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. Keenan Allen, 9 receptions, 86 yards, a touchdown. Komet, 64 yards. Odunze, 39, Swift, 35. So a little bit of everybody getting the ball, and something that we thought was going to be happening all year was, yo, we're going to have a pretty good offense. And now it seems like that's finally kind of starting to come around. DeAndre Carter did have a lost fumble on a recovery, so that big kickoff he had, or kickoff return at the end, 55 yards that got us into touchdown position or got us for Caleb to push us down the field was huge. And the defense, nothing crazy, no turnovers. Did we have a fumble? Anything? No interceptions, nothing really on that end. Or did we have a fumble? Turtle. We had something, but we did not have any interceptions, anything like that. Let's see. There we go. Fumbles, defense. So no turnovers, nothing forced by us. But another heartbreaking game, 2 back-to-back division games that we lost at home. And I don't know what else we could really do. I mean, realistically, We probably shouldn't have thought we're going to make the playoffs. Probably shouldn't have thought we're going to make a Super Bowl, which people are crazy. I didn't say that. But we're 4-7 now. Still have one of the hardest schedules. We got to play the Vikings again. We still got to play the Lions, which we play on Thanksgiving Day. Got to play the Packers again. So it's still going to be one hell of a schedule coming up here. But I think as far as optimism, I'm pretty optimistic. I think Caleb Williams is showing signs of what he could be, who he is. And I think that's more important than actually winning some of these games. He's got to learn how to win, which is one thing I heard them talking about on the broadcast. And that makes sense. You know, taking that sack in overtime, not a winning play. That was probably the worst play he had of the whole game, but it came at the worst time. And that's not when we can have those types of mistakes being made. But one thing I do think, though, if the Bears offense keeps playing like this, Jonathan Brown will be the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. If our offense keeps looking like this, there's no reason somebody else should come in to replace him. And at this point, there's really no reason that Matt Eberflus should be back next season. So I think if the Bears offense keeps going, keeps looking the way it's been looking these last couple of games, then Jonathan Brown will become the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but let me know what you think. I think it could happen. And that kind of brings me right into this, which I saw earlier on Twitter. Number one place for your information. But let's take a look here. We got a little zoom action. All right, so you could see here, Coach Matt Eberflus, man. Let's put this down here. I think this isn't even a hot take. I think there's a 100% chance that Matt Eberflus is fired, and it's because of these stats right here. 5-1, or not 5-1. Wait, hold on. Let's get it back. We got to run that back. I looked at Matt Eberflus. I got a little discombobulated. Like, man, I fucking hate that guy. I'm trying to fight. Let's go, Flus. But go back to it. So I think 100% chance Matt Eberflus is getting fired after this season. And these stats right here speak for themselves. He's 5-18 in one-score games. He's 0-17 on the road in games on Sunday. 3-18 on the road overall. And 2-11 versus the NFC North. So he's not winning on the road. He's not winning the division. He's pretty much is not winning at all. Anytime it's a close game, we blow it. But I think right here, this kind of speaks for itself. If he comes back, I think it just shows how unserious the Chicago Bears are about winning, because 5-18 in one-score games, 0-17 on the road on Sundays, 3-18 on the road overall, and 2-11 versus the NFL North. And that doesn't even get into his overall record as an NFL head coach with the Bears. So I think Flus is 100% gone after this season. And if somebody's not showing general management, these stats right here, please do, man, because I get it. Defense is good or somewhat meh. Caleb Williams is improving. Some people might think, yo, let's just keep him, bring it back. I'd rather keep maybe the OC if he keeps playing well. I don't know, but I think there's a 100% chance Eberflus is going to be gone. And with that little cut he's got going on, bro, it's good. He thinks he's rocking something, and I don't see it. But Bears' next game is going to be this Thursday, like I mentioned, Thanksgiving morning against the 10-1 Detroit Lions, who are first in the NFC North and tied with the Chiefs for the best record in the NFL. So if you're looking to start your Thanksgiving day off with a nice smile, it's probably not going to be watching the Bears game. I hope we're competitive, but the Lions are one of the best, if not the best team in the NFL. But maybe the Bears can pull off a Thanksgiving upset. We'll see how it goes. Caleb Williams, first big prime time, I would say, game he's going to be on nationally all over the country during a game or during a day where everybody's sitting there. So I'm excited. Bears, I'm excited for Caleb. I'm not excited for the Bears, but it feels like we finally got our guy, Chicago. We finally got him. That DeAndre Swift play alone, that throw was the greatest throw in Bears history. No questions asked about that. Greatest throw in Bears history, and I don't even have any words to say, but moving on, man. Bears lose again, 4-7. Crazy thing is we're still in the hunt for the playoffs because the NFC's not that lit. But, all right, we got to transition now. Talk a little bit Chicago Bulls basketball. I had the pleasure of going to the Atlanta Hawks game, or the Bulls versus Atlanta Hawks NBA Cup game on Friday. Bulls squeezed it out, so that was dope. But not as successful since then. So Friday night, they won. So Bulls were 1-1. Bulls were 1-1 over the weekend. They beat the Atlanta Hawks Hawks in Friday's NBA Cup game, 136-122, but they lost the second of a back-to-back to the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday, 142-131. The Bulls are currently 7th in the NBA, averaging 117.4 points per game on offense. However, they give up 123.9 points per game, which is dead last in the NBA. And I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but obviously 117 is less than 123. So we're probably going to lose a lot more games than we win. The good news is players like Zach Lavine, Vucevic, they've looked good. And that means they're increasing their trade value. We're ready to get them out of here. Zach Lavine's averaging 22.7. He's been on fire from three, making 44% of his three-point shots. Vuc is averaging near a double-double, 20.5 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game. And my only question is, will they both be traded? Will we keep both? Or only one of them going to be gone after the trade deadline? And I don't know the answer to that question yet. But like I said, Zach Lavine, Nikola Vucevic, they've been balling out this season. They look really good. And the best part about that is they're increasing their trade value. So Lavine averaging 22.7 points per game. He's making 44% of his three-point shots. And Vuc is averaging a near double-double, 20.5 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game. So we're going to find out, are they both going to get traded? One of them going to get traded? Or are the Bulls going to pull off a Bulls move and bring both of them back to keep us in the play-in game? So you never know, man. But let me know what you guys think. Is Lavine going to get traded? Is it going to be Vuc? Who's it going to be? Because game was really good on Friday. I mean, the Bulls, they're entertaining, man. You're taking a look at these scores. Obviously, they can score a ton of points. They scored 136 to win on Friday. Then they scored 131 to lose on Saturday. So obviously, our problem's not scoring. The offense actually looks really good. Seeing them live on Friday, they're moving the ball. Everybody's moving the ball. Doesn't seem like anybody's too eager to hold on to it. And the good thing now that DeRozan's gone is the entire lineup can spread the floor out. They can move the ball around. Almost everybody that starts can hit a three. Kobe White, Lavine, Patrick Williams when he's healthy, Vucevic, and then depending who else they start out there, Giddey can still knock it down from time to time, even though it's not pretty. But it was a close game, man. Memphis, different story. It's just the same thing, I guess, back-to-back days. They were able to outscore the Hawks, and then Saturday they're just not able to outscore the Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies didn't even have Ja Morant, so we lost to a Ja Morant-less Memphis Grizzlies team. And you take a look at the stats, it's a guy named Jalen Wells that led the team in scoring. So that's a little concerning when we let a random dude come in and drop 26. Oh, no, actually, a name you might have heard before, a name you might recognize from United Center, Scottie Pippen. But this is Scottie Pippen Jr. He dropped 30 on the Bulls' head on Saturday, and that's probably the last thing anybody expected was a Scottie Pippen in 2024 coming out and dropping 30 at the United Center. But it was his son. He was 13 of 16 from the field, and that's what's concerning about the Bulls is that we don't play a lick of defense. Dudes named Scottie Pippen Jr. are killing us. A guy named Jalen Wells was killing us. I mean, Desmond Bane, he only had 13. Jaren Jackson Jr., he did have 23. But there was no Ja Morant, and the Bulls got smacked by the Grizzlies. So a little bit of the same going to continue, I think, all year. Bulls pretty much just trying to score as much as they can and not really playing defense. And we're going to find out what happens. I mean, it's good for Lavine, good for Vuc. They look a little bit better, but I don't really know what options there are out there for them. You know, it's been the last couple of years saying we're going to trade him, we're going to trade him. But that kind of drives right into the next part. So if I think either of them are going to be traded, the better player is probably Zach Lavine, but obviously NBA bigs are a little bit more in demand. But these are my top 3 trade destinations for Zach Lavine. He has 2.5 years left on his deal, player option in 2026 if he opts in, and he'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2027. So my top 3 trade destinations for Zach Lavine, number 1, I got to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. Number 2, I got to go with the San Antonio Spurs. And number 3, I got to go with the New Orleans Pelicans. So let me know what you think, which one of those 3 teams, who's he most likely to get traded to? Lakers are obviously always up there at the top of the list with all those relationships. So my top 3 trade destinations for Zach Lavine, the Los Angeles Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, and the New Orleans Pelicans. So let me know what you think. Who do you think he's going to get traded to? Is it one of these 3 teams? Is it another team? And I think the Bulls, honestly, I think they end up keeping Lavine. I think they trade away more role players. Lavine's owed more than $136 million over the next 2.5 years. And paying that much money is one thing, but finding the players you can trade to get Lavine and match up that money, that's a whole other thing. And I don't see GMs wanting to gut their roster and give up a bunch of role players just for Zach Lavine. So let me know what you think. Is he going to get traded? Is he not? Does he go to one of those teams I mentioned? Is he going to end up staying? I think the money's too much. I mean, the Lakers already aren't that deep. What are they going to give us? The whole roster, and then they're going to have an old LeBron, Anthony Davis, who's not reliable when it comes to staying healthy, and Lavine, who's never proven himself in a playoff situation. So it'll be really interesting to see where he goes. But if we take a look at some of the reasoning, I say, the Lakers, they've been linked to Lavine for years. Clutch Sports also represents LeBron. They represent Zach Lavine. And the Lakers have actually played well so far, but none of us really know how many more years Bron has left. And they're going to need somebody to play alongside Anthony Davis. I know Dalton Connect has been killing this year, but I don't see him as kind of like a superstar second guy up. And Lavine and Anthony Davis, that's a little bit more competitive than maybe Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis if LeBron leaves. Then the San Antonio Spurs, man. This might be a long shot, but if anyone could improve Lavine's efforts in defense, it could probably be the Spurs and Greg Popovich. He could learn a ton from CP3, and Wemby's interior defense would cover up a lot of Zach's inefficiencies on the defensive end. When you got Wemby back there, just able to block and swat everything away, that definitely helps out the guards. And for the New Orleans Pelicans, man, this would be a deal between two teams who are just looking to shake things up. Zion's out again for an extended period of time. Brandon Ingram sat out yesterday. He's hurt again. DeJounte Murray's hurt again. So it's just a team that they're kind of somehow worse off than the Bulls. They somehow manage to do worse than we do in all these situations. So, there's just not a lot of good teams out there that I think, given their roster, makes a lot of sense for Zach Lavine. So for some reason, I think we end up keeping Lavine, trading away Vuc. There's always a market out there for big guys. So somebody needs a big guy that can spread the floor. But let me know what you guys think, man. What are the Bulls going to do? Are they going to keep Lavine? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to keep Vuc, trade Vuc? Where do they get traded to? What are some ideas you guys are coming up with? I still think Lakers, Spurs, Pelicans, just go through all the rosters. I was doing it yesterday, and I'm like, man, bro, there's just really not a lot of teams that could use a Zach Lavine. I mean, a lot of the teams you might have thought about in the past, they've updated their roster. They've upgraded. And like I mentioned, the biggest thing is matching that money, sending players back that make up to that $45, $42 million a year that he's making a year. But Bulls' next game is actually tonight against the Washington Wizards. So Bulls' next game is tonight in the nation's capital against the Washington Wizards, who currently have the worst record in the NBA with 2 wins and 13 losses, and they've lost 11 straight games. This might be the only franchise in the NBA more pathetic than the Bulls, and it's crazy to think that these are actually the 2 franchises that Michael Jordan played for. Are they the 2 worst franchises in NBA? And that alone makes me kind of tweak out. I'm not talking about fans. I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about general management, talking about ownership. These might be the 2 worst franchises in the NBA. But let me know what you guys think, y'all. Bulls play tonight. Bears play on Thursday. Hope you guys all enjoy it. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm definitely going to make a video before that, so I'll say it again. But thanks for stopping by. Hit like, hit comment, hit subscribe. Let's go, y'all. Deuces.